Howdy, howdy ho. I want to start by showing this footage of Assassin's Creed Unity and mentioning that while the game was released full of bugs and glitches, just watching this kind of tells you why. It was far too advanced for its time, releasing in 2014. The amount of detail and capabilities they built into the engine were just not meant for the beginning of this era. I just wanted to give credit where credit is due. On the flip side, we have here Watch Dogs Legion, which comes in at the opposite end of the era. Continuing the hacker life, this game gives you more than just the power to hold the Y button to hack things. You can do it with anyone and everyone. But does this concept pan out? To cut to the chase, the answer is no. While it is true that you can recruit anyone and that they have randomized sets of skills and perks, the reality is that once you've recruited Indian 007, Jamesh Bondi, or not Jason Statham, the recruitment system just becomes busybody work. Sure, I took some time to vet out some candidates, and while I enjoyed the stealth elements of non-lethality and hacking by holding the Y button, the reality is that going in guns blazing cut down mission times by about 1/3. Yes, it's just that much faster to shoot down anything and everyone and then continue along. That's not to say that there aren't genuine moments of ingenuity and surprisingly good gameplay elements, but despite these moments of respite, it all boils down to holding Y, over and over again. It's not that other games don't repeat their gameplay mechanics, it's just that Watch Dogs Legion somehow makes hacking feel dull, and after about 2 to 3 hours, I basically experienced all the game has to offer. This in turn made favoring mission completion at the utmost expediency just that much more viable, and it was only to move the story along. I will say that riding a drone through the skies or driving through the streets or blasting around on a bike feels better than it did before, and they clearly took a little influence from their own The Crew game series. If you're into the busybody thing, then yes, you can waste countless hours recruiting people or unlocking skilled recruits or even just doing side missions. But there's something to be said about a game that somehow convinces me to just get through it all as quickly as possible. Everything just rings hollow. Having a legion of usable characters doesn't change the inevitable go here, push button hack design. And while I did find clever ways around doing it based on different characters, it was always aimed at simply getting it done. At the time of playing this game, more content had been announced, but I can't help but not be interested in anything else. This game feels done once it's done, and I highly doubt I will come back for more after 18 to 20 hours of it. Though there is just one endgame side mission I recommend doing, as it was one of the most heartfelt moments in the entire game, if maybe even the only one. Aside from crashing and glitches I could show you plenty of, which have been hopefully fixed by now, the rest is pretty boilerplate. It's a good-looking open-world game with a serviceable storyline as expected from a AAA budget title. This does not pan out in general dialogue and animation though. The writing is often piss poor and the voice acting even more so.
I hate how moist that sounds, but it's true.
I had to pick wannabe Gillian Anderson to make it orally palatable. I do want to note if you've installed this on a hard disk drive like I did, I get stutters where assets can't be streamed in fast enough, likely due to my use of the ultra resolution texture pack. In terms of ray tracing, while still in its infancy, my hair's clearly the wrong color here, it's shown off here in a way that tells you it's the necessary visual garnish that makes imagery just that much closer to photorealistic. You can see how the reflections are much more dynamically calculated to look the way it would in real life, rather than approximations and screen space reflections. Though it seems its last-gen underpinnings still give them issue, you can see how the screen space reflection is overwriting the ray tracing. What you don't know is that I went into this hoping to like it. I even tried to like it, tried the different things, but everything felt clerical. It all felt like it was programmed around buttons, ironically. If real-life hacking was just pushing buttons, then you're right, everyone's a hacker, and therein lies this game's crux of failure. By making hacking easy and accessible to all players and all in-game characters, it completely takes away the feeling of involvement simply because, well, anyone can do it. So I simply picked the people with guns to do it because they could shoot their way in and out of situations at 1/3 the cost of my time. I give Watch Dogs Legion a 6.5 out of 10. That's it for today, folks. I'll see you next time on the Gaming 5.